Hi guys, welcome back to my fantasy predictions for each day of the playoffs. Each day of the TI. So we finally finished the group stage and now we are heading into the playoffs. In a nutshell, these are the cards that I've put in to predict for day 5, and I might still be changing out Emo for the mid lane, but let me first explain how I arrived at these picks. So if we look at the bracket predictions or the brackets, we know that on day 1, these teams will be playing IG versus Spirit, Secret versus OG, and followed by the teams in the lower bracket. PS3, LGD, T1, BP, and BG will not be playing on day 1, but on day 2 of the playoffs, so we can count them out. And so if you notice the players that I've selected here, all 5 of them belongs to team in the upper bracket who will be playing on day 1. Why? This is because they will be playing best of 3s, whereas teams on the lower bracket will only be playing a best of 1. If you want more points, you definitely have to pick from the teams who will be playing more games. So another consideration to have is whether or not this series will be 3-game series. And also not just whether it's a 3-game series, but whether the player that you pick will be in the team that performs better and win in the end, and whether or not those games will be long games. So the 3 things to consider for the players from the team you choose from is whether it will be 3-game series, whether the games will be long game, and whether the team will be performing well in those games. Okay, now let's go to the players. Let's first look at cores. So for the cores, right, if you look at the group stage so far among the core players, the best performing one is Raven, Sumil, now Ame, RTZ. But let's only look at the 4 teams that are playing on the first day: OG, IG, Secret, and Team Spirit. So Sumil is number 2, Yatoro is number 6, Fly number 7, Matumbaman number 8. Matumbaman haven't had great performances, so it's harder to justify picking him unless he starts to play better in fantasy points in the playoffs, or you have good stat bonuses like tower kills for his card. That is kind of similar for Fly as well, because even though IG won most of their games, Fly is still ranked number 7. On the other hand, if you look at Yatoro, even though Team Spirit didn't win all their games, he's still ranked fairly high, so he's not a bad choice to choose. The safest choice is definitely Sumil, who consistently score a lot of points, who get farm, get kill, and pushes towers. Also, if you look at the brackets, it will be OG versus Secret. I think most of us may agree that this will be quite a close series and will go up to all 3 games. And that's why definitely want to choose at least one carry from these 2 teams. And Sumil is the one who's performing better than Matumbaman, so I would choose Sumil. Because Matumbaman hasn't been doing that great, I didn't choose Matumbaman as my second pick. Instead, I choose Yatoro. I could choose Fly as well, but I think that Yatoro is a carry who tends to do well even when their team isn't winning. Whereas Fly may depend more on their team winning, and even though IG won most of their games, his point is still not among the highest. So you may want to decide between, say, Fly or Yatoro depending on your card bonuses. Yeah. Okay, now let's go to the mid. For the mid, there's Emo, there is Thompson. Sorry, let's go here. Emo, Nisha, Thompson, and Toronto Tokyo. As you can see, Emo is ranked number 1, so he's quite a safe choice. Nisha is not that far off, he's 2nd place, and then followed by Toronto Tokyo and Thompson. Toronto Tokyo has been having pretty high points in the last few days, but still he's not that near to the top, and that's why, especially in the series between IG and Emo, Emo is probably the better choice to choose from. Between Nisha and Thompson, I would say more likely it's better to choose Nisha. So it may be quite safe to choose Emo and Nisha if you have those. Another way to analyze who you want to pick is to look at this fantasy price tracker link again, but to look at the points that each player get. This is their average total score, and this is how they got their total score. How much did they get in kills, how much did they get in deaths, how much did they get in GPM. So, for example, if you look at Sumio, he gets a lot of points from kills. He gets quite a lot of points from team fighting, and he tends to grab quite a lot of runes. So these are some primary ways that you get points, which also mean that if your Sumio card has rune grab bonus, team fight bonus, and kill bonus, that will be quite impactful. Tower kills as well. Sumio kills a lot of towers. So if you look at the mid, for mid, how does Emo score a lot of points? Emo gets quite a lot of kills. Emo takes quite a lot of towers, the most among the other mid laners, and he grabs the most runes. So he has the most tower kills and most rune grab. So if you're undecided between the 4 mid laners I mentioned in Spirit, OG, Secret, and IG, you could decide to pick, for example, Emo, just because your card for him has rune grab bonus and tower kill bonus. Let's look at one more example. Let's say Nisha. Nisha kills are okay. What does he do well in? Let's see. Nisha places quite a lot of wards. No, Nisha stacks quite a lot. And Nisha stuns quite a lot. He has no one trait that gives a lot of points. He does fairly decent in all of them. But the one that stands out a bit more is stacking camps and stuns. So if those are your bonuses, it's another way to consider Nisha. You can look at Toronto, Tokyo, and Thompson, but I won't go into them. Also, Thompson is not among the best for fantasy points, so you may not want to put him unless you don't have other choice. It would still be better to put Thompson, who is one of the 4 upper bracket teams, than to put a mid laner from the lower bracket team. Now let's look at the supports. So for support, we have Yapzor, we have Kaka, we have Saksa, we have Mipushka. These are the 4 supports from the 4 teams in the upper bracket. Yapzor is definitely a very good choice. He has been having outstanding performance. Even as a pause 4, he places a crazy amount of wards, and the Secret versus OG series may be quite drawn out. You can expect him to continue to place wards. For Kaka, he stuns a lot, the most among the supports possibly, and he also plays quite a lot of wards for position 4. So if your bonuses for Kaka is stuns, that's one reason to consider Kaka. Also just simply because he's the second after Yapzor. So for OG, Saksa, he is a support who stuns quite a lot as well and team fights quite a lot. I forgot to mention Yapzor team fights like mad. His team fights one of the most among all the support. So if your Yapzor has team fight, that's another reason to consider. For Kaka, he's overall decent. Like, he's one of the support that get more kills and he stuns quite a lot. So those are the bonuses you can look out for. For Mipushka, I don't think anything really stands out. He's just a decent support. But I would say that the order here is fairly fixed. You may want to consider Yapzor, and then Kaka, and then Saksa, and then Mifushka. And the only reasons why you would consider any other way around is depending on your card stat bonuses. It doesn't really matter which team will win, be it whether OG is the one that beat Secret or Secret beat OG, because whether the team win or lose, the supports don't usually differ in their points too much. Usually support points are based more on the support player themselves, whether the support player stun a lot or ward a lot. So that's why I put Yapzo and Kaka, who are the top two, followed by Saksa and Miposhka. So here are my picks. Just to recap, pick between OG, Secret, Spirit, and Secret, and IG, sorry, yeah. And among them, you should pick the player who has been performing great so far, and that they probably will continue to perform great even in losing games. This includes like Sumir or Yapzo. And when you choose a player, also look out for which stat they are performing best in, which you can refer to this sheet that I will put inside the video link. And if you have the stat bonuses for that player, like if you have tower gear bonuses for Sumil, then it's almost certain that you should pick Sumil. So with that, this is a pretty sure way to get in the top 90%. I hope you like this prediction and this guide, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.